What makes an online course feel human? Is it the discussion boards, live sessions, or the feeling that someone is actually there learning with you? Hello, everyone. This is Anna, and welcome to the Social Presence Learning Pod, where we unpack practical strategies for building connection in online learning. In today's episode, we'll look at how social media tools can help transform online courses from isolated experiences into connected learning communities. I'll explore how social media practices can strengthen social presence in online learning environments. As more courses move into digital spaces, educators must intentionally design opportunities for interaction, connection, and of course, collaboration. Research consistently shows that when students feel socially connected in online environments, their satisfaction, engagement, and perceived learning increase. So, how do social media platforms support connection in online learning? Well, social media platforms play a powerful role in supporting this connection. These tools enable communication, collaboration, and knowledge sharing beyond traditional classroom boundaries. For example, Zakos et al. 2018 indicate that social networks support learning processes by enhancing communication, collaboration, and academic engagement between instructor and students. In other words, social media can transform passive online courses into dynamic learning communities. But how does this actually look in practice? Let's start with with a few key best practices educators should consider. An important best practice is to integrate social media in ways that feel natural to learners. Rather than introducing new platforms that students rarely use, instructors should leverage tools that already exist within their digital learning environment. When tools are embedded into everyday learning workflows, participation increases and communication becomes more meaningful. Another key practice is intentionally designing opportunities for peer interaction. Social media platforms support the exchange of user generated content, allowing students to ask questions, share ideas, and collaborate in ways that extend beyond traditional lectures. These interactions contribute to effective behavioral and cognitive dimensions of learning by supporting motivation, engagement, and deeper knowledge construction. But what should educators consider when selecting social media platforms? Several factors must be considered when selecting these platforms. These include accessibility, alignment, and learning goals that level familiarity of students already have in the platform. Selecting tools that support collaboration and community building is particularly important because research shows that social connectedness and learning communities significantly influences student satisfaction in online spaces. So, how might these ideas translate into an actual online course environment? Let's take a closer look. I have explored the use of Canvas-based tools, specifically discussion boards and synchronous virtual sessions, to strengthen social presence. So although Canvas is technically a learning management system, its communication features function similarly to social media platforms because they support dialogue, peer interaction, and community building. For instance, discussion boards allow students to engage in reflective dialogue, share experiences, and respond to their peers. This asynchronous interaction supports sustained cognitive engagement and encourages students to project their ideas, identities in the learning community. At the same time, live virtual sessions through platforms such as Zoom increase instructor immediacy and emotional engagement by enabling learning in a real-time way. So, of course, like any technology, these tools are not without limitations. Canvas tools may lack some of the informal networking features found in public social media platforms, which can limit broader professional networking opportunities. But even so, the instructional design value of Canvas remains significant. Despite its limitation, Canvas remains highly effective for structured academic interaction because it provides a secure environment where instructors can intentionally design collaboration, learning experiences aligned with course objectives. Now, this leads to an important design question. Why are we combining asynchronous and synchronous interaction? These tools can create what I describe as a layered presence architecture. Asynchronous discussions support reflective and thoughtful responses, while significant synchronous session strengthens immediacy and social connection. When used together, they help cultivate a stronger sense of belonging and participation in the online classroom. As an instructional designer, I always apply this approach when supporting faculty in designing online courses. For example, combining structured discussion forums with live virtual sessions allow faculty or instructors to create multiple pathways for interaction, which helps learners remain more socially connected even in an online environment. So beyond instructional design, leadership perspectives also shape how social presence is implemented in online learning environments. From a leadership perspective, integrating social media practices into online learning also reflect principles of servant leadership. Servant leaders must focus on supporting the needs of their community. In online education, this means designing environments that promote collaboration, voice, and of course, shared learning rather than instructor-centered delivery. So what is the ultimate goal of social media integration? Ultimately, the goal is not simply to use social media tools, but to create meaningful learning communities where students feel connected, supported, and of course, motivated to participate. And that's really what social presence is all about, helping students feel seen, heard, and engaged in the learning process. Thanks for joining me on the journey today on the Social Presence Learning Podcast. I am Anna. Bye.